Okay, good. We're ready. Okay, aloha. I'm Denise Yamaguchi. I'm the Executive Director of the Hawaii Agricultural Foundation, and I want to welcome you to the Prince Waikiki for the 31st episode of Eat, Think, Drink, Lay of the Land, Protecting Hawaii's Floral Industry. Tonight, we have 221 registered attendees expected to be here this evening. We applaud all of you for being interested in our local agricultural industry and our local food systems. Tonight's program is being recorded and will be available on our website, so please silence your phones and refrain from talking as a courtesy to our speakers who are presenting this evening. We are about to kick things off, and with that said, the bar is now closed out of respect for our speakers and will reopen after tonight's discussion. I want to acknowledge our presenting sponsor, Central Pacific Bank. We have here with us this evening Keith Amemiya, Senior Vice President and Community Relations Manager, who I'd like to invite up to say a few words. Okay, while he makes his way here, I'm going to send a mahalo to our other sponsors, Alexander and Baldwin, Armstrong Produce, Fresh Point Hawaii, Bayer U.S. Crop Science, Hawaii Longline Association, Island Palm Communities, Sentinel, Matson, Prince Waikiki Hotel, State of Hawaii, the Ulupono Initiative, United Airlines, and United Fishing Agency. And with that, I'm going to ask Keith to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Denise. Aloha and good evening, everyone. It's truly a pleasure to be here tonight. I'm Keith Amemiya, Senior Vice President of Central Pacific Bank, and on behalf of all of us at CPB, it's a genuine honor to be here and to serve as the presenting sponsor of tonight's Eat, Think, Drink. I want to thank Denise and the entire team of the Hawaii Agricultural Foundation. You consistently bring together the right people, the innovators, the advocates, and the leaders to tackle the most pressing issues facing our islands. We're grateful for your leadership. Tonight's theme, Protecting Hawaii's Floral Industry, is near and dear to our culture and our communities. When we talk about flowers here, we're not just talking about exports or sales figures. We're talking about the essence of aloha. Imagine Hawaii without lei. It's impossible. Lei are the thread that runs through every significant milestone: a welcome at the airport, graduations, weddings, birthdays, and memorials. Our flowers are the language of connection and celebration. The floral industry is a vital engine of local employment and a cornerstone of land stewardship. These farmers are caring for and cultivating the land, ensuring its beauty and productivity are passed down. But the challenge is real. As many of you know, our farming community is growing older, and we are seeing increasing workforce shortages. There's a genuine concern that family businesses, the heart of this industry, will not be passed down to the next generation. Therefore, we must ensure that the beauty of today is also the economic viability of tomorrow. So again, on behalf of CPB, mahalo to Denise and the entire HAF team for bringing us together this evening. We look forward to the thoughtful conversations and strategic solutions that will emerge from tonight's gathering. And finally, mahalo to all of you for the work you do every single day to beautify Hawaii, strengthen our local economy, and ensure that the spirit of aloha continues. Enjoy your evening. Mahalo.
So before we move on, I want to just recognize a few people who are here. We have the chairperson from the Department of Agriculture, Sharon Hurd. Are you here? Yeah. Thank you for being here. I also want to recognize a few of my board members because I never do this and I really should. We have Dean Okimoto, the chair of our board, and he's been the chair for a very long time. And I also want to recognize Warren Watanabe, who had just joined our board. He is the president of the Maui County Farm Bureau. And I want to also recognize May Nakahara, who was on our board and recently gave that position up to Warren. But thank you for being here all the way from Maui. Anyway, we started Eat, Think, Drink in 2016 to spark meaningful conversations about food and agricultural challenges facing our community. And I've never been more excited than where we are today, because in 2016, we were talking about this thing called the HPP machine, and I had this guy named Lou Cooperhouse come to speak about the high-pressure pasteurization machine. And today we have one in Wahiawa at the Product Development Center, and that was a result of that Eat, Think, Drink. On Friday last week, we also had the groundbreaking for the Agriculture and Food Hub that will be at Whitmore Village. And there we will have 2 more HPP machines. So these conversations that we have at Eat, Think, Drink through the Hawaii Agriculture Foundation really have had meaningful impact in our community. I just wanted to mention that because the things that we do, you never think of, okay, where does it end up? And those are 2 real examples of things that have become reality from these conversations. So I just wanted to mention that. And tonight's event, again, was never meant to be a one-way talk. It's always mutual learning, and we encourage you to engage with our speakers and with each other throughout the evening. Tonight, we're turning our attention to one of the most visible and most vulnerable parts of Hawaii agriculture, our floral industry and cultural tradition of lei. Once among the leading export sectors, floriculture in Hawaii has declined sharply in the past 2 decades. As one example, the lei industry reports that nearly 90% of all lei flowers are imported. And you will hear tonight how demand outpaces supply, raising questions about the balance between local and imports to meet that demand. Our keynote speaker, Eric Tanouye, sits at the heart of this story. Eric is the president of the Hawaii Floriculture Nursery Association and is president of Greenpoint Nurseries. He has been a tireless advocate for local floriculture and the growers who keep this industry alive. Tonight, Eric will help us understand where Hawaii's floral industry stands today, the pressures facing our growers, and the opportunity to rebuild a thriving, resilient sector, from strengthening flower cultivation and supporting the next generation of farmers to protecting our lei traditions and keeping locally grown flowers at the center of our celebrations and for generations to come. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Eric Tanouye.
Aloha e kako, and mahalo nui to the Hawaii Agricultural Foundation, Chair Dean Okimoto, Executive Director Denise Yamaguchi, and Senator Donovan De La Cruz for your invite for me to speak here tonight. I also understand that there's many of you who have traveled afar to be here tonight to give support to myself and our panel tonight. So I want to say mahalo to you all. I see and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I'm going to address the following subjects tonight: floriculture in decline, attracting the next generation of growers, labor shortage, and the main topic tonight, lay of the land. I will also be including how we evolved and overcame some of the challenges that may not be reflected in the overall floriculture numbers. First, floriculture in decline. The floriculture industry has been in decline for over 2 decades. Yes, that is true. There are 2 reasons why. First, aging farmers, which I will get to. And the other reason is a constantly changing market environment. For example, in the early 2000s, supermarkets started to sell flower bouquets as a retail strategy. Today, you will find bright, fresh flower bouquets at the entrances of major supermarkets, and it depicts a fresh and natural branding. what modern shoppers today look for in food. We also face a global competition, with about 70% of the flowers coming into the US from South America. And their growers in the Central and South American countries are able to sell and ship directly to our supermarkets and big boxes today. South America has cheap labor, land. The farms have had time to consolidate for a greater economies of scale. This started a race to the bottom in terms of price, where US growers and wholesalers couldn't compete on price and they took the hit. At this time, I can't speak for all other growers, but in those early days, we as a company, our family business, Greenpoint Nurseries, we relied heavily on mainland wholesalers for over 50% of our family business. We had to make a shift. So we broke from conventional wisdom and we went directly to floral designers who focused on weddings and special events. It didn't happen overnight, but the shift allowed us to increase our sales and also our profitability. We still have progressive wholesale accounts that have evolved and as well and have maintained their market share in the marketplace. Today, we sell every stem now that we produce and what we purchase from our local partner growers. We have expanded our operations and will continue to scale up to meet this demand of the US mainland market and the state of Hawaii. But you may ask, what drives this current demand for our products? Here are two key reasons. Being engaged in targeted marketing initiatives for over 15 years, the floral design is a trendy type of business. And to be trendy, we must stay top of mind. So, by promoting fresh and creative tropical floral designs to ensure our market share, but this requires constant effort. Please take a moment to enjoy this short video of our industry on floral design events called Fresh Look that was held in October 2024 in Hilo, Hawaii.
So we are proud to name this unique tulip variety Hitomi Gilliam.
Bill once told me the anthuriums are the bad boys of the jungle. And that's why he loves anthuriums.
Yes. Hi. Yeah, bring it. You told me I needed to see a little. All right.
Wow, this is one amazing event. I mean, seriously, actually, Eric and everybody, thank you.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed our industry's video on what we do at Fresh Look. We had leading designers from Vancouver, Canada, California, and Hawaii. Designers who are influencers in our industry. And we were fortunate to have Florist Review, the leading industry magazine established in 1897, to do a feature story. The other reason for our current demand is a direct result of our partnership. with the breeding program of College of Tropical Agriculture and Human Resilience, or CTAR, at UH Manoa. The program develops unique anthurium and dendrobium orchids that have desirable colors and a disease tolerance via conventional crossbreeding. These UH varieties give our growers a competitive advantage and edge in the marketplace. Hawaii growers are considered boutique growers because of our size, but our varieties show we can compete with the giants in the industry. And on another note, a unique thing about this partnership is our students are able to gain valuable insight from our private sector. Our industry is an important part in our community, bringing valuable outside dollars into our local economy and generating jobs in rural communities. This is a public-private partnership model we need to sustain so our future generations of growers can succeed in the global marketplace. Attracting the next generation of growers. As mentioned earlier, the other reason for a decline is a problem not for all agriculture, that is, an aging farmer problem. Attrition is negatively impacting production and looks like it will continue. We need to be able to entice the next generation of growers. Attracting the next generation of growers in today's society is a tough nut to crack. The perception of farming is that it's not a secure and stable career choice, and the working conditions are not attractive as other industries. There are many factors at play, but here is one key factor that we need to think about to attract the next generation, and that is strong profitability, driven by a strong and sustained demand. Young people need to know and feel they can make a good living with their career choice. We're very fortunate at our family business. We have convinced our 3 sons to join as our 3rd generation coming to do a family business. So one of them are volunteering to flip my slides tonight. Here are my other thoughts on the subject. We have to understand that agriculture has a critical aging farmer issue. According to the 2022 USDA Farm Census, nearly 45%, I repeat, 45% of Hawaii's farmers, and I'm going to make an assumption, I'll step out there, and ranchers, are 65 to 75 and older. Although this issue may offer some opportunities if we can connect the dots. A good strategy would be a system where retiring farmers can list their farms in a database, allowing potential new farmers to purchase an existing farm. Progressive financing options like lease to own could make this strategy more viable. New farmers starting from scratch is a very tough and long shot at success. But keeping existing farms with infrastructure in production should be a priority. Let me share a short story with you now. Nearly 2 years ago, Mr. Shane Castillo, a young tropical flower producer with a small operation, acquired Pacific Floral Exchange from Mr. Grayson Inoue, who retired from a successful career. They created an amicable transaction that allowed Shane to acquire the 20-acre productive nursery with a large packing facility that may otherwise have gone to non-agricultural use, generating revenue and profitability to provide a good living for the owner and grower, and fair wages to the employees require scale. Shane was able to scale up with a turnkey operation. We need to provide early support to growers, project-based learning, and internship programs at the high school and college levels. Our educational system needs to apply more seriously. Still, it takes a special young person with an entrepreneurial spirit to get results. But they are out there. For example, I participated in a panel discussion at the last Hawaii Agricultural Conference. We were so pleased and surprised when 2 high school students in the Future Farmers of America program asked really good questions about growing temperate zone flowers, which are primarily imported from California. Let's imagine that these students grew temperate zone flowers as part of their project-based learning and were able to sell those bouquets for Mother's Day, and on top of that, turn a profit. To grow, to market, and to make a profit requires critical thinking. It could be the spark that lights the fire in a young ag entrepreneur, though. Attracting the next generation to replace the loss of production due to attrition is not realistic, and that is an understatement. We must strive for small wins, and it's the accumulation of small wins with high value that will make a difference. Labor shortage. Again, it's strong profitability that allows a grower to pay a good wage and provide benefits, to recruit and retain good employees, and having a good workplace culture is also key. My father, Eric Tanouye, was an aloha person, and he created a good workplace culture organically. He left big shoes to fill, and I do my best to follow in his footsteps, if you know my father. We now have 58 employees, and a few employees have been with us for over 35 years, and several employees over 20 years. It can be done in agriculture. And finally, I get to lay of the land. Again, it comes down to strong profitability, driven by strong demand, to encourage existing farmers to scale up or to attract new farmers willing to invest and do the hard work. I believe it must be mission-driven, though, to get consumers to spend more for flower growers so that they can make a good profit. Local pride is a powerful motivator. To grow local lei flower production, a robust and sustained public awareness campaign is needed to tap into that pride. Opportunity may also drive growth for Hawaii-grown flower lei. When we look at Hawaii's visitor market, we know California is the top state and Los Angeles the top city. But visitors from San Francisco and the greater Bay Area fit the profile of customers who would buy Hawaii-grown flower lei. They are expected to be more mindful of culture and environment according to HVCB. Small change could start with a wedding planner or a floral designer who has a clientele, a special clientele, willing to pay the price for lei made with Hawaii-grown flowers because they desire the authenticity. Giving lei is a common part of Hawaii, but on the mainland, it would create a wow factor. The people receiving the lei may feel deeply special to have this Hawaiian tradition bestowed on them. From there, word of mouth and social media will start the ball rolling. Being able to offer Hawaii-grown flower lei will set the wedding planner and floral designer apart from their competition. I'd like to close with this. Hawaii Floriculture and Nursery Association, HEFNA, is a statewide organization with 300 plus members statewide. We secure grants to invest in marketing initiatives to build demand for our members. Local lei flower growers need an advocate organization to help revitalize the industry. Sylvia Hasi and David Furte's Lei Poi Na Ole project is that organization, and it needs all of our support to give the local growers a good fighting chance. Mahalo nui all for listening. Thank you.